everyone, and welcome back to World Builder. In this episode, we are going to be completing all of the houses that are left in the village. Same as the way we did it over at Xantod. It's just, it makes it a lot easier, because the houses make up the majority of anything, any village, usually, um, unless it's like not a residential village or a residential area of a village. Um, or it's like a farming area where you have mostly farms but still have a couple houses. But even in that, you're still going to have to be building a lot of one thing. So doing it like this just makes it a lot easier and provides a nice background to talk about the house building process and all that stuff, which, because some are already made, you already pretty much know. Um, what I can talk about, though, during this is some of the more odd things going on here. So, I've already mentioned that height variance is important, but there are issues that arise when you're trying to build houses that are on the same level of terrain, and you've already made houses that are on stilts, so that creates even more issues, and it's very odd. And I had to do a couple things um, near some houses just to make them fit in better, so that they're not like sticking out height wise or anything. So it is kind of weird. Another thing is that when building with the stilts, you have to build if the entire house is on stilts, it has to be at least 2 blocks high. So if you wanted to make if houses are on the same level of terrain, you couldn't do like 2 block stilts and 1 block stilts, because how's someone gonna get into a house that's only 1 block tall on the entrance? So there are issues like that, which I will combat and get around. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. Yeah, keep watching. Give me those watch minutes and boost my ad revenue that I'm not getting. Uh, but yeah. Uh, Another thing here is that these houses aren't finished. Even though I'm not changing anything about any of the houses in this episode, there are still other things that I want to do with them that I haven't done. Mostly adding leaves and other plant life to them, because they're kind of bland right now. I mean, looking at the walls and stuff on the bigger houses, it's just a lot of wood. So try to break that up with some plants, and it should look better after that. Another thing I want to do is add leaves onto the roofs of some of them, most of them, pretty much most of them. I also want to add leaves on a lot of things here, and trees. Another thing that this village can have that Xantod can't have is trees, which is incredibly helpful. Xantod couldn't have trees because it's in a desert, so being able to get trees in an area like a swamp means that I can have more probable cause for leaves going over things, um, just to get more variation in the roofs than I already have. Because although I have variation, I can still get more. So, yeah. Another issue that I came across here building these is how to get the roofs to not be next to each other. Like the same roof color, not next to each other. So, it's kind of weird, because there are some times where you have to, just because of how it ended up. Um, but for the most part, I did a pretty good job, I think, of not putting two roof colors that are the exact same directly next to each other, and that helps a lot in getting the right amount of variation that is needed to make this place not look super boring and bland. A lot of the buildings that I see from other people, usually other people that are not as experienced, if they make a lot of houses, they make them all exactly the same. And I used to do that. Um, which is why I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, getting variation is important. That's also why I don't put the missing or the stairs in the walls in the exact same place every time. Because if you did, it wouldn't look good. If you do that on every house, it's just like it just becomes a design, like a part of the house, rather than like this house is missing a brick. It just becomes, oh, this house is designed with these bricks missing, and it just doesn't look good. So don't do that. Another thing in this particular area, there are there's like a big open space where a house could go that I didn't put a house because I put a bush there, and that's not good. What I really should have done with this place is not put in any bushes until all of the houses were made. Because even in previous videos, you can see me like removing bushes to make space for houses. So that's just something to keep in mind. Although the bushes looked nice when there were no houses or other buildings, they get in the way of houses that I want to be building, and they should not be put in until after all of the houses are done and organized in a suitable fashion to what I need. Yeah. So, I'm running out of ideas on what to talk about right now. Well, I can talk about some of the roofs a bit more. So, on a lot of these roofs, I lowered down the wood pillar, like the stripped logs. I broke a block off the top of that to put in a roof block, so that the top of the roof would look smoother. And I didn't want to do that for every house because again, I need variation, but also it just looks better. So, I don't know. Another thing, the shape of the roofs. These are difficult. I mean, I do it pretty quickly, but that doesn't mean they look good. Like, it's just kind of weird to fit that shape over. I'm trying to put a circle on top of a square, I guess. That's what I'm doing, and that's why it's kind of hard and weird. So, there's that. Also, this house that I'm building here, you notice that I put one block cobble walls instead of two. And I was able to get around having to do two by putting a little staircase in front of the doorway. And just little things like that are great for getting variation, especially because the house I'm building now and the house directly in front of it are on the same level, so I couldn't put stilts on both of them, and it wouldn't really make sense for these to be on ground level since they're so close to the river. So putting them on one block stilts was a great idea, and it really worked out in the end for what I needed. But this house can be on two block stilts and still look fine. Another thing about the roofs is that you may have noticed me adding slabs, dark oak slabs, onto the roof. That was from a suggestion in the comments, so thank you for that. Don't remember who made it because it was a long time ago, and I don't remember names like that well. But I appreciate the suggestion and feedback, and if any of you viewers have any feedback, I would very much like to hear it, and if it's good enough, I'll do it in the builds themselves. If it's not good enough, don't worry about it. Helping is always good, even if you don't know how. Sort of. Yeah. Ask before. If you don't know whether or not you can make helpful actions, ask. Most of the time, people will probably say yes, but also don't get in the way. You know, I experience that a lot where people are trying to help, but they just end up getting in the way. So, yeah, here, these comments, leave any feedback you want. You won't get in the way of anyone, except other commenters that might be trying to comment the same thing. But leave feedback. You won't get in the way of anyone, and I'll appreciate it anyway, no matter how it is. It's good or bad, don't care. I appreciate that you take the time out of your day to leave a comment on the video. So here, I forgot to change the camera position for a while, so that's why there was a bit of a jump in time there to it being pretty much finished. So yeah, all the houses are now done, and with that, I'm going to leave this here. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed, leave a comment, any feedback you have for me, and I'll see all of you later. Bye.